I found Mark Mandic, who happened to be local, and I called him up and I was like, dude, man, why doesn't my ball python look like the ones that you have?
Howdy folks, Brian Cusco here at the Redline Report, and there's my headphones. We're going to sit down with Will Moroz today. I've known Will for quite some time, but we've never actually sat down and done a video together, so this will be cool to do. We're going to hear about his work with ball pythons, how he got into it, what his approach is, and also other species that he's working with. So stay tuned. You're watching the Redline Report. Mr. Will.
What's going on, man?
It's good to have you in the States again.
Yeah, it's always good to be here.
I feel like you're just in the States a lot.
Yeah, I tried to be.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome community. It's fun to come down. It's, we're not too far either. We're like a 10-hour drive, so I don't miss Tinley, that's for sure.
You don't miss. I
won't miss Tinley.
You won't miss Tinley.
Yeah.
Always make sure to come to this show.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dude, so I don't think we've never sat down and done this before, right?
I don't think so.
No. We did a little quick thing with Morph Mark with John where he was reviewing the stuff. But I think other than that, I think you've never sat down with me and done like an interview style thing.
No.
No. Which is crazy because I feel like you have a lot of good information, a lot of good things to tell people. But
yeah, I guess.
What I really want to know is like I don't know any of your origin story of like how you got started keeping or like how did you come to keep exotic animals or snakes or
it's pretty similar to most people. I think you just as a kid love dinosaurs, love reptiles, love that whole thing. And with my dad being a veterinarian, it was like animals in the house was like no problem. So lizards, snakes, had a tarantula, and I kind of grew, especially as a kid. As I got into high school, I kind of got rid of most of that stuff and went through a probably 8-9 year period where I didn't keep anything. And then first year of university, I got a ball python, and it just from there it went crazy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did it? So first year of university, what era roughly was that for you?
That would have been, I think I got her early 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we produced our first clutch, I think 2009.
Okay.
She was just from a pet store. Honestly, I used to walk by that pet store on the way to school, and they actually had lemurs, ringtail lemurs in there.
Whoa.
And so, like, they had this huge enclosure with, like, 5 ringtails, and you could go in and, like, I got to know the guy who owned the store, and I was always, like, stopping in because there's ringtail lemurs on your way to school. Like, it's pretty dope. And they had a small little reptile section, and I went in, and they had a ball python there, and he was like, man, we haven't even sold this thing. Like, did you want it? I was like, hell yeah, like sure, I'll take her home. And I got home and I started, doing this Google like ball python thing, and then just like I found Mark Mandic, who happened to be local, and I called him up and I was like, dude, man, why doesn't my ball python look like the ones that you have? And he's like, well, why don't you come down? And the rest is history. I went down and saw like everything. It was just like, this is insane. And yeah.
Wait, how did that happen again? How did you get in contact with Mark? I mean, he was local, but did you know that before?
I didn't know he was local at all. I had no idea who Mark Mandic was at the time.
Just through Googling, you found his
website was ballpython.ca.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And it was like the first thing that came up. So I clicked it, and his website was always so good. It had tons of different, showed the one that really sucked me in was actually the caramel hypo, the caramel glows. Back in the day, I was just like, that is like the craziest looking ball python I've ever seen in my life. And I went down to Mark's, and I came home with like 3 more of them, and then it just snowballed out of control from there.
Yeah.
Just bred them and sold them and bred them and sold them, and just kept building and building and building. And
Mark, I mean, what a guy! What a way to like intro into the hobby, I guess. Of pythons.
Yeah.
Like, that's your guy that's down the road.
He was right. He was right there. And then shortly after that, I started to reach out to guys in the States, which I had no idea how with CITES, I had no idea how that stuff worked. Can I just ship a ball python to Canada? And then I started to talk to Ralph Davis a bit, and we bought a bunch of stuff from Ralph. And Ralph was really good to us. And again, Ralph Davis had incredible stuff. He was like, his videos were the thing that hooked me. Like, that showed like the flat line. Like when he put that thing out, I was like, what is this? This is nuts. And just from there, it's been just like everybody else, you get hooked, and then it's 15 years later, and you're like,
I wouldn't say you do it a little different than everybody else. I said there's some. What is it you think that? Because we're not at a shortage of people who breed ball pythons. Right?
That's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it that you think sets you apart? Because there is something. What do you think that is?
I don't know. It just, I guess to me it comes easy, but to other people I guess it doesn't. I like to try and breed for stuff that I don't know what it's gonna do. You know, I don't know. It's that curiosity. It's that, like, there's lots of stuff that I breed that I know what it'll do. It's a very predictable process. Like if you take if you take a leopard and you put a hypo on top of it, I can pretty much in my head tell you what a hypo leopard would have looked like, right? It's just almost like a filter onto that. But I really enjoy that, like, pattern manipulation and trying to play with stuff. And when I see most of the market chasing, you know, one specific thing, I kind of go like, okay, you guys got that. I'm going to go play over here and work with some different stuff. And that's worked out really well in my advantage for many, many years, actually, just doing stuff that I was curious about. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. And then, yeah. But that's breeding reptiles for you, you know? You're going to have stuff that works and you're going to have stuff that doesn't, and just hope it works. Yeah.
Have you messed with any other species at all?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had some hognose for a little while. Got rid of those. A little too quick of a metabolism for me. I had some indigos. Got rid of those too.
That's pretty quick metabolism right
Very
there.
quick metabolism, yeah. And a very intense animal. They're just very, like, they're amazing, but yeah, they were a little much for me. And you have to clean them a lot.
Yeah, it's like a daily mission there.
Yeah, exactly. Right now we're working with some tree monitors. So I got some blues and some yellows, and then honestly, we've been building. I've really found a love for, like, building cages, like building, like, natural vivariums and stuff, and we build them all from scratch. Put the foam in, dry lock it, or polygem it, and paint it all, and put live plants, and that's been a lot of fun. So we have some Blue Beauty Nightingales coming in. I wish I could get them. Ron St. Pierre is here, and I wanted to get some from him, but the Cuban species, it's tough to ship internationally. So we can get them out of Germany, but we can't get them out of the U.S. for whatever reason. When you can grab them off a tree in Florida, but you know,
it's interesting.
Some of those regulations are a little disappointing. Like, there's some stuff you guys have here that I'd love to get my hands on, but.
Yeah, and that goes across the other way too. I was just talking to somebody earlier today, Fiji iguanas.
Yeah.
We were like,
so,
man, I'd love to keep one.
Yeah, we can get Fiji iguanas like they're, well, not like they're bearded dragons, but they're around in Canada. But rhino iguanas, like, no chance. You cannot get a rhino iguana unless you're a zoo, basically. They're CITES 1, so unless they were in the country before they listed them CITES 1, like, it stops the. If you had a rhino iguana and said, like, oh, it's captive bred, here's all the paperwork, it still doesn't matter. I can't have it. So some of those regulations are a little, you know,
nonsensical.
Yeah. Some of them are. Some of them I think I understand why.
Sure.
Right? But, you know, I need to do CITES just to ship sheds to do shed testing. You know, we have a shed testing place in Canada now, which is really helpful. But yeah, it's one of those things that a lot of paperwork to do and hoops to jump through. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes life a little more interesting, I guess.
Yeah. I don't love the paperwork,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, but it's been good. I've had a good time doing it. It's one of those things that just, it's part of the business. If you're going to be, the market is the United States for the most part, and if you're going to be outside of the United States, then you have to figure out you have to figure out your distribution, because without it, you can't just put them in a box and ship them. You know, there's more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you full time in this?
Yes.
How long have you been full time?
About 4 years now.
4 years. Okay. What did that transition look like to go from being like hobbyist to full time?
It was pretty seamless, to be honest. It was pretty smooth. I probably could have gone full time before that, but I just was sort of like, I wanted to keep taking sales and put it back into the collection and keep, get the infrastructure in place, get the rodent building ready, get all that sort of thing, instead of just trying to patchwork it all together. I wanted to make sure I had kind of our ducks in a row, and it was good. It was good. COVID was really good for a lot of people, right? It's been pretty good. This last year's been slower for, I think, most people as well. But these are the ebbs and flows of this market, right? It's just try not to let it get down. I try to stay very like flat. Don't get too excited. Don't get too disappointed. Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't take it too seriously. We breed snakes, man. Like enjoy it. You get to wake up in the morning and go into a snake room instead of punching into an office. Like, hey, I'm with it. I'm about that. Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah, keeping your expectations, maintaining a level space where you're not having those rough highs. I need to work on that a lot.
It's tough. It can be tough because it's easy to get hyped up and then it's easy to get crushed too.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do there. I can learn a thing or two from you. How do you do that?
I don't know. Maybe just my personality. I just try not to get too excited about anything and try not to get too disappointed about anything.
All right.
It's live animals at the end of the day, and you just got to roll with the punches with them. Yeah. Some of them don't want to breed for you. Some of the stuff that you really, really, really wanted to produce for you won't produce. And then some stuff that you're like, yeah, it's a side project, they produce like crazy for you. And it's so unpredictable, and you never know which one's going to be good. And, you just have to kind of roll with it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good info and that's something you hear a lot because it's true. Like you can't know. You can have this plan for this project. That in 3 years this will happen. Then in 5 years this will happen. 7 years is like, yeah, maybe.
Let me know if that happens. Yeah, yeah, right. That's there's been lots of scenarios where I've been super excited about something, and then it's the longest one to get going, or the female slugs out, or the male's not breeding for me, or you finally get a clutch and you get all males instead of females that you need. There's so many variables with this that you can't predict really anything. And we can use an educated guess on what something's going to look like, but for the most part, it's experimentation. It's like, oh, okay, this snake with a brown back and this snake with white sides, if I put those together, do I get a snake with a brown back and a white sides? Well, maybe, but also maybe not. You can look across in ball python specifically, you can look, who would have thought that two yellow belly complex animals make a super stripe, really? It's crazy that there's so many workarounds, and you can, all these genes that you think you run into a dead end, and then I've done it many times where I'm at a dead end, and then I'm like, yeah, I think that's about as far as we can go with that, and then somebody else puts like one other gene into it. I'm like, what? That did that? It's like, okay. It's just, there's always I try not to get too down or too high on any individual gene or project, because time and time again I've been like, oh yeah, chocolate's old news, and then boom, never mind, I just wasn't creative enough, Yeah. So that's something that took some time to like get to that. I used to be a bit more excitable, and then not get into those, like, get crushed on a clutch of odds, something that you're like really excited about. It sucks, like, that sucks, but it's just, it all evens out over the long run. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Good job, man. Well, where do you want to go next?
Man, that's a good question. I'm having a lot of fun with some lizards right now. Like, a lot of fun. I really like, obviously with ball pythons, it's rack-kept species, and I love that, but I love my ball pythons, but I really enjoy coming into the room and seeing the live planted terrariums and seeing a tree monitor jumping around, and it has that, like, I feel like I'm at the zoo as a kid again, It's still new. I have no experience breeding them, nothing. Like, luckily Brandon Van Asten is like an hour away from me, so he's got those dialed in pretty good, and he's been really helpful. We got most of our animals from him, so I want to continue working with my ball pythons and then just have fun with other species, not branching out into lizards with the intention of, like, I'm gonna breed lizards for a profit. It's more like I want to have some fun stuff in the room too, and just enjoy it, and just yeah. Thought about some other snakes, but I think I'm gonna stick with four-legged stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole
change
different
of pace. Yeah, a lot more. It has I don't want to say it's more interactive, but it's more interactive than a ball python for the most part.
Yeah, monitors are on a different level.
They are like super cool. Like, I hope to God I can hatch one day and raise, like, try and socialize it right out of the egg and have a blue tree monitor that likes you, because mine hates me. But, it'd be fun to have one that's really, like, likes you and I see. It's one of the allures of tree monitors, right? If you go on social media, you'll see somebody with a green tree monitor. They put their hand out and the thing jumps out on them, crawls all over. You're like, that is like top tier for me. That's like that interactive level with the animal that's smart, and that trust building is like that. That's cool. That's really cool, and I'd love to experience that. So I'm gonna try. We'll see how it goes.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where can people follow all the stuff that you're doing there with your ball pythons and with your monitors?
That all Instagram, should be YouTube, but I don't do a whole lot anymore. I'll probably get back into that here shortly. But Instagram, Facebook, Royal Canadian Reptiles. That's about it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Right on, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking a moment to come and sit down with me,
Dude,
man.
I always appreciate you and having me on.
Yeah, dude. Anything you want to put out there that you haven't already? Or?
No, I think that's it, man.
Cool.
Yeah, just chilling, you know?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks again, Brian.
Yeah,
Always
of course,
a pleasure.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Follow Will over on his Instagram at Royal Canadian Reptiles, and check out some of that tree monitor stuff he's doing, man. The enclosures he's built, really cool. Take a look at all the stuff he's putting there, man. It's really good work. Thanks to Will for coming on and always coming down to these shows from Canada. And you guys will see us right back here next week on Redline Report. And we'll see you then. Y'all take care. Nice stuff. Cool. I didn't even realize you're doing the builds with the tree monitors and stuff, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll show you what I built. I think they look pretty good. So I was getting to the point with her where she'd like come out onto my arm, take a bug, and then she'd like go back. And then when I moved her to the new enclosure, I had to catch her. And like, now I walk in the room, she's like, I think she's gonna break her neck. She like hits the wall. She's like, chill. I'm just changing your water cup. Like, no, she's gone psycho. But hopefully, over time, she'll cool back down, and